You might remember Reese Witherspoon as the bright-eyed star of Legally Blonde, or from her Oscar-winning turn as 𝗔𝗯𝗂𝘁 in Walk the Line. But did you know she's just as savvy off-screen as she is on it? That's right, Reese has quietly built a jaw-dropping real estate portfolio that spans charming southern estates, luxurious Malibu hideaways, and even a few tropical retreats worthy of a movie set. Let's take a delightful stroll through the dreamy homes of one of Hollywood's most beloved Southern belles. Reese Witherspoon's 2020 Brentwood purchase wasn't just a house, but a masterpiece of elegance with a dash of Southern charm. Tucked away on a sprawling 3-acre estate, this 7-bedroom, 9-bathroom home looked like something out of an English countryside painting. Initially built in 1993, the house was already grand, but Reese took it a step further. She renovated it into a brighter, sleeker version of itself. White paint and blonde wood floors brought in soft California light, and a beautiful white oak staircase became the centerpiece. The chef's kitchen got a high-end makeover, and even the library got a stylish new blue hue. A saltwater swimming pool sparkled beside a cozy outdoor cooking area and fireplace, perfect for entertaining under the stars. Reese and her then-husband, 𝗔𝗯𝗂𝘁𝘁, bought the home for $15.9 million, but when they sold it in 2022 for $21.5 million, it became one of her most profitable flips. The buyer? None other than the heiress to the Hot Pockets fortune. This Brentwood beauty shows Reese knows how to turn a luxury home into a lifestyle, complete with warmth, charm, and plenty of star power. Long before her mega stardom in producing, Reese quietly created her version of Hollywood luxury in Brentwood Circle. In 2003, she began assembling a home and an estate. She bought one property for $4.7 million, added the neighboring lot for $3 million, and later picked up a third piece of land in 2009 for $3.3 million. Talk about real estate chess. Reese didn't just settle for what was there, she demolished old structures, redesigned the grounds, and created a new backyard haven behind the primary residence. This became her personal sanctuary in one of LA's most private gated communities, close to Bel Air. In 2014, she listed the entire compound for $14 million. While the properties eventually sold separately, the side lot went first, and the rest later fetched just over $10 million. It was clear that Reese had crafted something exceptional. The estate was as private as it was stylish. This wasn't just a house, it was a vision. It shows how, even early in her real estate journey, Reese made big moves with an eye for long-term value and design harmony. Reese's Malibu hobby farm, known as 𝗁𝗵𝗂𝘁𝗄𝗯, was more than a weekend getaway. It was a cozy, sun-kissed slice of rustic heaven. This 1949-built farmhouse came with all the right trimmings. We're talking about a separate guest house, art studio, horse stables, and even a private screening room. It felt like something out of a movie, except it was all real. The main house had 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and every corner oozed charm. Think soaring ceilings, clerestory windows, whitewashed beams, and warm wooden floors. The living spaces flowed beautifully, and the designer gallery kitchen offered a modern touch in an otherwise vintage shell. Outside, a coveted barn added even more living space with that rusted chic feel that Malibu dreams are made of. Reese bought this peaceful paradise for $6.2 million in 2019 and sold it off-market just a year later for $6.7 million. The buyer? Meg Haney, daughter of real estate billionaire and coincidentally sister of Reese's former stylist. It was a short stay, but Reese's hobby farm reminded her she knew how to blend country soul with coastal style like no other. Here's one that proves Reese isn't afraid to start from scratch. In 2010, she purchased a 2.5-acre estate tucked away in Mandeville Canyon for $6.9 million. The property came with Hollywood history. It had once belonged to actor Tom Selleck and was most recently owned by action star 𝗷𝗵𝗶𝘀 Segal. But instead of preserving the existing house, Reese saw something else: potential. She razed the buildings entirely, clearing the land for a future dream estate. The bold move spoke to her confidence in the location's long-term value. Mandeville Canyon offers privacy, prestige, and proximity to Los Angeles glamour without the city's constant buzz. In 2012, she listed the cleared property as a vacant lot with an $8 million price tag. Though it's unclear whether she built anything there herself, the purchase showcased her willingness to play the long game in real estate. This wasn't about flipping a finished home, it was about vision. That vision of taking a historic Hollywood parcel and seeing a blank canvas proves Reese is as strategic in real estate as she is on screen. Every star needs a sanctuary, and for Reese Witherspoon, that haven was a stunning rural estate in Ojai, California. She bought it in 2006 for $4 million, and it quickly became her beloved retreat, a place she once described as meditative and restorative. It's not hard to see why. Originally designed by architect Wallace Neff for industrialist Edward Drummond Libby, the estate had a magical, almost timeless feel. The main house featured 4 bedrooms, original stonework, century-old fixtures, and hand-painted Talavera tile stairs, with multiple fireplaces, stables, guest houses, and a tranquil swimming pool. This place offered peace and privacy in equal measure. It's also where Reese and 𝗔𝗵𝗶𝘀𝗏 tied the knot in March 2011, making it even more meaningful. However, after listing it at $10 million and receiving little interest, she eventually sold it in 2013 for $5 million. This estate wasn't about flash or flipping, it was about soul, and it gave fans a rare glimpse into Reese's quieter, more grounded side. Whether riding horses or relaxing by the fire, Ojai was where she could be Reese. In true Southern style, Reese took her roots back to Tennessee with this 1930s-era mansion in Nashville. She bought it in 2014 for $2 million, perhaps drawn to its graceful charm and old-school elegance. The house sat on over 6 acres of leafy land in the upscale Oak Hill neighborhood and had all the right touches: a paneled library, sweeping staircase, and 3 classic fireplaces to cozy up to. But don't be fooled, this beauty needed some serious TLC. Parts of the home were missing flooring, and appliances were scarce. It had once belonged to automotive royalty Lee and Kelly Beeman, who saved it from demolition with a clause that ensured it would live on. Reese may not have completely restored it, but her ownership certainly added to its story. It stood tall when she sold it in 2019 for $2.5 million, waiting for its next chapter. This wasn't just a house, it was a piece of Nashville's history. And for Reese, it was likely a love letter to her roots, a reminder that no matter how big the spotlight is, there's no place like home. Technically, this one belonged to 𝗔𝗵𝗶𝘀𝗏, but with Reese's signature style in the mix, it's worth a peek. Jim purchased the Laurel Canyon home in 2006 for $2 million, long before he and Reese tied the knot. Nestled in the heart of the Hollywood Hills, this 2-bedroom home was cozy, modern, and filled with light. Reese and Jim refreshed it before listing it in 2015. Grey oak floors, sleek fixtures, and floor-to-ceiling glass doors turned this modest property into a stylish urban retreat. The home boasted roomy terraces with sweeping views, a built-in fire pit, and a backyard spa, ideal for laid-back evenings under the California sky. Though it was listed at $1.6 million, less than the original purchase price, it was clear this wasn't about profit. It was a practical early chapter in their real estate story. This home had charm, character, and a hint of Hollywood history. It might not have been a sprawling estate, but it was a stepping stone where Reese's story as a homeowner and homemaker quietly began to unfold. You'd imagine a Hollywood starlet retreating to Reese's Pacific Palisades estate after a long day on set. Purchased in 2014 for $12.7 million, this palatial 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom home sat in a prime spot between the Santa Monica Mountains and the Pacific Ocean. Talk about location. Reese made it her own with tasteful upgrades that perfectly blended coastal luxury with personal warmth. There was a navy front door that made a statement before you even stepped inside. The blue-gray interior tones, white subway tiles in the kitchen, and a massive island gave the home a clean, elegant feel. Her walk-in closet was adorned with teal wallpaper and filled with just the right amount of Hollywood sparkle. The outdoor space was just as inviting, with gardens, a pool, and quiet lounging spots under mature trees. When she sold it off-market in 2020 for $17 million in an all-cash deal, it confirmed what we already know: Reese's style sells. This home wasn't just beautiful, it was breezy, refined, and full of character. Like Reese herself, it had California glamour with a welcoming southern soul. Reese didn't just go back to Nashville, she returned with grandeur. In 2023, she scooped up a breathtaking $18 million estate in one of the city's most prestigious gated communities. Sitting on 4 lush acres, this nearly 15,000 square foot main house was built in 2020 and offered every modern luxury imaginable. There's a spoon-shaped swimming pool, a fun nod to her last name perhaps, a full tennis court with its viewing pavilion, and a stylish separate pool house. The interiors weren't just massive, they were exquisitely designed, with room for entertaining, relaxing, and everything in between. This wasn't a quirky fixer-upper or a flip. This was a serious long-term investment. Shortly before her split with 𝗔𝗯𝗂𝗃, it marked a new chapter, possibly as a primary home or family retreat. It's elegant, private, and built for comfort. A picture-perfect southern estate that brings Reese back to her roots in high style. This home says, "I've made it, and now I'm home." Two months after buying her Nashville estate, Reese returned to familiar territory in Brentwood, Los Angeles, with a stylish purchase, a $5 million ranch house designed by celebrated architect 𝗁𝗵𝗶𝘀. Built in 1959, this single-story, 4-bedroom home perfectly exemplifies classic California cool. At 2,600 square feet, it's more modest than some of her other homes, but it makes up for size with charm. Clean lines, open spaces, and a dark-bottom swimming pool combine a retro feel with modern elegance. Nestled close to her former Mandeville Canyon property, the location shows she still holds a soft spot for the neighborhood. 𝗁𝗵𝗶𝘀's signature style, indoor-outdoor living, natural light, and understated luxury are all over this one. It's not flashy, but it's refined, and it reflects a quieter, possibly more personal side of Reese's taste. Whether she uses it as a hideaway, a guest house, or a new project, this home proves Reese knows how to spot architectural value and timeless design. Reese's eye for real estate isn't just about homes, it also extends to investment and business. In 2023, she purchased a red brick historic building in downtown Nashville for $4.2 million. Originally built in the 1870s, the building is zoned for residential and retail use, making it perfect for someone with entrepreneurial ambitions. The recently renovated 3,000 square foot space offers dramatic dark wood floors, a sweeping curved staircase, and wallpapered accents that feel classic and dramatic. With 7 bedrooms and only 1 bathroom, it's not your typical family home, but it's likely not meant to be. There's also a second 1,300 square foot structure in the back, sold as is and needing a little love. This property is rumored to be intended for her growing business empire, perhaps as an office for her production company, Draper James or Hello Sunshine. It's a smart move in a growing city, blending history with functionality. If there's one thing Reese has mastered, it's building a portfolio that reflects her career, style, and vision. This Nashville gem is another strong step in that journey. Not every home in Reese Witherspoon's portfolio is a mansion or movie set stunner. In 2023, she picked up a much more modest property in Franklin, Tennessee for $672,000. Nestled at the end of a quiet cul-de-sac and backing onto a peaceful golf course, this 2,200 square foot brick-sided home was built in 1987 and offers cozy suburban charm. It's not entirely clear what Reese had in mind with this purchase. At this price point, it's a world away from her other high-end estates. Some believe it may have been an investment property. In contrast, others think it could be a generous gift to a family member or someone close. What's certain is that this purchase shows a practical side to her real estate strategy. Not every move has to be glamorous. Sometimes it's about location, timing, or simply helping someone out. This Franklin home may not have marble staircases or sweeping verandas, but it tells us a lot about Reese. She's grounded, thoughtful, and not afraid to think small when it counts. If Southern Grace had an address, it would be Reese's colonial estate in the upscale Belle Meade neighborhood of Nashville. She and Jim Toth bought this stately 1930s home in 2018 and sold it in late 2022 for $7.4 million to music producer Randy 𝗁𝗁. At 8,400 square feet, with 6 bedrooms and 8 bathrooms, this home was all about tradition, with a twist of Reese's personal flair. Outside, it looked like something from a classic novel: white brick, green shutters, a sweeping veranda, and a circular drive. Inside, it was Southern elegance turned up a notch. Reese had the floors redone, added new window treatments, and completely updated the kitchen and bathrooms. There was a fireside lounge in the master suite and even a custom closet filled with keepsakes from her movie career. The property even appeared on Netflix's Get Organized with the Home edit, giving fans a peek at her life behind the scenes. This Belle Meade home had everything from the pool with a diving board to the chandelier-lit soaking tub. It was both a family residence and a piece of personal history. Looking back over Reese Witherspoon's real estate journey, it's clear that she's more than just an actress. She's a tastemaker, an investor, and a storyteller who chooses homes as carefully as she chooses roles. From sun-drenched Malibu farms to stately Nashville mansions and smart commercial buys, each property represents a moment in her life and a piece of her evolving empire. Reese Witherspoon may have conquered Hollywood, but as we've seen, she's also quietly mastered the world of real estate, one stylish home at a time. From breezy beach retreats to stately southern empires, every property tells a story of elegance, heart, and that unmistakable Reese touch. And for those who followed her from Legally Blonde to Business Mogul, it's a joy to see how she brings that same magic off-screen. Reese Witherspoon may have conquered Hollywood, but as we've seen, she's also quietly mastered the world of real estate.